I think you have to have it enabled for me to do it anyway. So.
Yeah, for some reason I always gotta come to Facebook manually and
Oh,
make it.
really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That is so weird.
Oh, I guess we're already public.
It says, yeah, it says, yeah, it already shows that we're live on there. It's all
Oh,
good. I'll just run it how it is right here because I don't see the thing to link it. Let's see. I was trying to get dinner. I had to go pick up dinner and everything, trying to make sure it was all done in time.
yeah, I understand, brother.
Okay. All right.
Jared, what's up, brother?
What is going on, my brother?
Hey, we back again with another episode of the Scar Nation podcast. Uh, I guess we're waiting on Brianna. That's
She
all good.
she just called me. She said I'm in the parking lot. I was like, all
Okay,
right.
so we'll just shoot the breeze until she goes up. We'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Go
Appreciate
ahead
you
and
having us on, man.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm happy to do it, man. How long's it been since I came on yours? A few months,
Oh,
right?
it's been a few months. I was just about to say for those that don't know, Josh was on the podcast. We did it live instead of pre-recorded, and that was a few months back. I'll after this is done, I'll go back and I'll find the link and I'll drop it in the comments here so people can check it out.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I enjoyed that episode. That was a
Yeah,
good one.
I do want to do another one though, where I do want to do another one with you where we do a pre-recorded one for sure. But that was a good one. It was awesome to have you on, kind of get to know a little bit more about you. So I'm excited.
Yeah, whatever you want, man. We'll definitely do it. I like doing these. This is why like I was telling you before, we put so much time into putting this content out. I wouldn't still be doing it if I didn't enjoy it. I like to be able to, you
Yep.
know, what I always think of when it comes to this content and why I continue to put the work into it
Mm.
is because I remember what it was like to watch this content while I was in active addiction.
Yeah.
I remember like it was yesterday. Matter of fact, I was scrolling through YouTube earlier today, watching old videos about like MAT and Vivitrol and Kratom and this, that, and the third. And I remember, like, damn, I remember watching these in active addiction and just
Yeah.
how much they helped me.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, I know when I started, I was probably about a good couple years into my recovery, but I started it. It was like when the idea sparked. It was I love podcasts. I love listening. I worked on the road a lot, so all I had time is to listen. And I was like, at that time there wasn't that many podcasts about mental health and substance abuse and anything like that. Now there's everyone has one, and that's good. That's cool and all. But back then they didn't, and I was like, yo, you know what? I would love to do one of these just because I want to take my experiences that I've dealt with in my life and just help others. And if I could do that, then so be it. It took me about 2 years though before I finally pulled the trigger on it. I kind
Yeah,
of made excuses about it, like, oh, and then finally one day it was just like in 2022, it was the end of 2021, December, and I said, you know what, January 2022 comes, I better jump on, and I did it. So man, haven't looked back.
yeah.
Here's Miss Brianna.
What's up, Brianna? How are you?
Hello, good. I had to go get some liquids to drink, and he had the vehicle, so I had to wait till he came back and then
I
go up and
understand.
get us some drinks.
I understand. It's all good. So, before we like really get into it, if y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll let you go first. Ladies first.
Well, what do I say? I mean,
Introduce yourself. Who you are, what you do, who you with.
My name is Brianna. I'm a grateful recovering addict. My son helped me pick out my shirt for this live. It says, "Ain't no shame in my sober game." I am loud and proud. I recover extremely loud in my community and in person. Jared convinced me to join him on the blacklist, which took a little bit, but here I am, and feet on the ground. I've got a little over 4 years in recovery. I recovered with Suboxone. Suboxone helped me stabilize my life, or helped me get over the hurdle while I was stabilizing my life and my surroundings. So
Awesome.
I could be successful in recovery. And December 27th of 2022 was the last time I dosed on Suboxone. And I help others that either want to taper down or want to get off Suboxone. I help them with the tools that I learned from my doctor. And I help others, reach their goals with, maintenance medicine.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely want to get into that later on in the episode for sure.
Yeah.
I am Jared. What do you need? Oh, this
Sorry,
one?
we're eating
So-
right now too.
It's
I'm
a
gonna let.
podcast. I like it like this, raw.
Yeah.
We have a busy day today too. I am also gonna let you know. I don't know if you've caught our lives on Fridays, and let the viewers know I will be on my phone, but I am on my phone responding to comments because we can respond to them, but sometimes it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'll be popping back and forth between Scar Nation and
We're not on the
Blacklist.
blacklist.
Oh, you didn't go live on the Blacklist?
I can't. You didn't have it set up. It's
Oh.
okay though. It's all right though.
So I will be in the comments on the live just responding to people. So
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not being rude.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But I'm Jared. Jared Blaine. My last name's too hard to say, so I just go by my middle name, Jared Blaine. 5.5 years in recovery. Created the Blacklist podcast, which, if you don't know, and if you haven't, Josh has been on as a guest in the past. But we do the same thing that Josh does here. Only difference is ours is pre-recorded and then drops at a later date. But I recover out loud, the same, and I love it. I love life, and recovery has brought some amazing things our way. I met this lovely lady right here through the podcast, and I wouldn't have met her if I didn't have that. So I took some little bit of I took a little hiatus. Had to regroup. You do all that good stuff. Then I told her, hey, I need you on. You're my other half. Let's do it. So she did it, and so here we are now, and we stay very, very, very busy. We stay very consistent. So
This is a passion for us. We have daytime jobs, we're parents and stuff like this, and all this other we squeeze in. And
Josh and I were talking before recording, and it's like people don't know the amount of hard work that comes into this, and especially if you aren't making money.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, you know what? I haven't seen a dime from
it
this.
doesn't get easier if you are making money.
No. But at the end of the day, though, it's like,
It does provide an extra incentive to keep going.
Oh,
It does.
You're not going to keep going unless you have a passion for it.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. We haven't seen a dime from this in 2 years. I've not seen one dime.
No.
But guess what? We record just the amount of we do the same amount of hard work. We push in. We do everything that we need to do, and we still do it whether we make money or not.
And that's because you have a passion for it.
Exactly.
Nobody keeps putting in the amount of work that it takes to run a podcast or a platform.
I'm going to share this while we're talking.
Yeah, without making money unless you have a passion for it.
And do you pronounce her name Tiana?
Yeah,
Is that
Tiana.
Tiana, I'm still waiting for you to call me.
Oh,
I had already spoke to Tyler on the phone, and then he had passed my number along to her just so I can chit chat with her before they come in and record an episode with us.
Yeah, for sure. You're gonna love Tiana. She's very active in my community.
And I mean, we don't always have to talk to people before they come on, but it's nice to talk to them before you get on camera, just so you kind of know how the conversation's gonna flow. We're all different.
Yeah, build some kind of foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to get into. So I'm glad that I actually got a couple in recovery on here, because I'm sure y'all get a lot of questions too. I actually get a lot of questions about, couples being in recovery, or how it never works, or it usually don't work out. But I know a few different couples in recovery that are still, thriving to this day. What's that like? So you got 4 years, Brianna, and Jared, you said you got 5?
Yeah, 5.5 years.
5.5.
October would be 6 for me.
I'm gonna grab a knife while he starts answering this.
Okay. What's that like? What's that been like, having a significant other in recovery? Is it better, worse? What do you think?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't really know the latter of it because we met each other sober. So
Right.
it's not, so I wouldn't really know what it would be like to, be in active addiction together and then, of course, be now we're at or where we're at now. However, it took a little bit of, of us just learning each other and whatnot. But
Mhm.
I think it's great because it's not like we went in fresh. We weren't a year into our recovery and then we started dating. Like, she had a
Right.
good solid couple years under her belt, and and the same here. And so but we know what it's like. We know what it's like to be on
Yeah.
the other end of it, so we can help lift each other up and we can help support each other and whatnot. And so at the end of the day, I'm just, I couldn't honestly answer that as far as what it would be like, compared to being together in an active addiction, of course, to now. That's at least my answer. But I love it. Again, yep, you hear those comments all the time about how two recovering addicts are together are never going to make it, this, that, and the third. And the way that I look at it at the end of the day is that's your opinion. And you're right. You know what? Okay. Maybe that's the case for some, but that's not the case for all. And at
Yeah.
least for us, being that we kind of had a stronger foundation in our own personal recovery before we got together, I think that's what is helping us right now
I
compared
think it'll
to.
help anybody. We were just recording before, and we were talking to somebody. They're both in recovery, and we had talked about, like, you really need to be extremely solid with yourself
Mhm.
in order to start a relationship in recovery. Because, like, even I expressed to Jared when we first met, I told him, like, I haven't been dating because I'm scared to have somebody else have some control of my emotions.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned how to work over hurdles and do this and do that. Like, I've learned how to do it, but I've never had somebody else, like, if people make me angry, I just fucking laugh at them. Like, oh, your life's horrible.
Yeah.
But having a connection with somebody and something happening is completely different.
I forgot to ask, can she curse?
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
I didn't even
We keep
realize
it
that I
raw
just
here.
cursed.
I have more self control, but I guess I forgot to ask. So just in case.
Yeah, we keep it raw over here.
Okay, no worries. All
You
right.
know,
I
and
would
it's
I would
like,
imagine being in a relationship with another recovering addict would be um like you would understand each other more. Like
mhm.
because I've been in relationships with people that don't know shit about addiction, and it's kind of frustrating in the sense of I can tell you don't fully understand this. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that haven't been through it, they don't understand the disease part of it or the not being able to stop.
Move that away from
Or
your mouth.
I
I
just
can
feel
hear
like
you
there's more
chewing.
judgment there.
So,
I could hear you too.
um, I don't think, like, if you're in recovery, you have to date somebody else that's also in
No,
recovery. There are people out there that have never struggled with addiction, but they understand that we're not all the same. Shit happens to some of us. Some unfortunate stuff happens. They can have their own struggles.
mm,
I do agree that it's hard to find those people, but they are there, and that's where I think the best relationships have a solid friendship. And that's, getting to know somebody else and who they are and how they work, to make sure once you commit yourself to somebody that it's not going to be pushing you back. You guys are going to hold hands and you guys are going to be in, unity, and you're going to help each other. On
for
your
sure.
good days, your bad days, it doesn't go without hurdles. Our relationship hasn't been perfect, and I had to sit down with Jared one day and be like, listen, you are deserving of forgiveness. Because we beat ourselves up so much in addiction. Like, oh, I was such a shitty person. Like, I don't deserve this. But we
Yeah.
do.
Oh,
Everyone
for sure.
deserves forgiveness,
Yep.
whether we forgive ourselves or somebody else forgives us.
Hmm.
But what we've been doing hasn't been working. So if we're not going to do something different and change who we used to be, then we're just going to damage each other. And that's not okay. We don't, whether it's a friend, a boyfriend, a parent, a family member, like, we're not out to damage other people.
Yeah.
Even when we give tough love, like, it's a lot of love behind it because we understand.
No, no doubt. No doubt. You almost develop a superpower when you, and I think this is why they tell you, don't date for at least your first year. learning how to be alone is
Mm-hmm.
difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, that
Learning how to find
codependency.
Yes, learning how to find happiness alone is very difficult for a lot of people. And when you're not able to do that, oftentimes people make the wrong decisions and accept somebody toxic or somebody that's not good for
Yeah.
them just to fill that void. And that's not healthy because that's what we
Mm-hmm.
do with the drugs. We fill a void.
It's coping.
Yes,
Whether that codependency is huge with people that have struggled with addiction.
for sure, for sure. And you
Huge, no
got to
matter
learn how
what
to,
it is.
yeah, you got to learn how to heal without that. Because until you do that, you're not truly healed. You
Mm.
know, recovering is a real healing process. Period. Period. There's something deeper than just the drugs or just the
I
the
wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at a comment.
yeah. But I mean, on some real shit, it's deeper than just stopping
Yeah.
the drugs. I've always said that.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like I said, it's about finding that person. Because there are some people that have, you know, like you said, it's they say that first year, but it could take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years for you
Yeah,
to be
everybody's different.
okay with yourself. And that's fine. Take your time.
Mhm.
Don't push yourself into something that is not good for you. Because, like you said, if you haven't done the healing and the self work with yourself, you're going to accept shit that you don't need to accept.
Yeah, just to fill that void.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's sad. Like, I feel bad for people like that.
Yeah,
I feel bad for those. Like, I want to help, but
yeah,
sometimes you can't.
yeah. Some people don't want to be alone so bad they just accept bullshit or whatever that
Mm-hmm.
just to be accepted and be treated like shit. That's a real problem. So mastering the ability to be alone, that's an important one to work on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
take a bite of my sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
I'm
I understand. I understand. I understand.
I got a sweater on because this woman likes it cold in here, and
It's only 68.
I was cold earlier, so
I'm hot. I'm
on
over
our
here hot, like
on our
burning up.
couch where we record at, there's the vent right behind it, so it comes right up.
Oh my God.
So I
know
put
what
it
that's
on.
like. I know what that's like. Relationship struggles. Y'all don't agree on the temperature.
That's a fact right there, 100%.
He'll be wearing like 2 pairs of pants, a t-shirt, and a sweater and socks to bed. And I'm in shorts and a sports bra, and I'm hot.
I've been getting a little bit. Listen,
fan on myself.
I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm used to. I'm a desert rat. I'm warm blooded, and then I moved to New York, and I'm like a complete temperature change. So
Yeah. The one I hate the most is one likes a fan on at night, and I don't like a fan on at night.
I don't either, but this one sleeps with the fan on all the time.
You got to compromise, bro.
A lot of it is for the noise.
Yeah,
Or else I hear
know-
that
know
ringing
what-
and my thoughts are too loud. If I have a fan on, I can just listen to the fan and disassociate.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I know what that's like too. Just having something it's almost like something that soothes you while you can go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you gotta get some white noise or something.
Yeah, the fan. The fan.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll put those rainforest sounds and shit on my phone. It works pretty good.
Yeah,
My kids put it on their TV.
I can go to sleep at all. I could just close my eyes and I can be out in like 10 minutes. So doesn't bother me none.
I agree with you, Tiana. Jared's kids were up here last summer, and they're like, "Why do you keep the house so cold?" Because when it starts getting hot out, it's at 66 inside.
Yeah.
And then they would go outside and play, and they'd come in, and they'd be like, "Okay, now I know why it's so cold in here." I'm like, "Yup."
Yeah. Speaking of sleep, are y'all? Oh, I should have asked this earlier, but what did y'all have the same DOC or what?
Pretty much.
For different reasons.
For
you
yeah,
noticed?
but yeah. I mean, I know like
I had more than him.
she had
had more
more.
troubles.
Yeah, she had more DOCs than I did. Mine was basically opioids, but I think the one that we related to the most was the fentanyl. That was kind of like
What we chased.
what we chased at the end of the day. But
Right.
so we kind of we can complement each other there as far as being able to help each other when it comes through that
Yeah.
aspect of it. Hers she had an issue with alcohol. I didn't. So for me, it's like I've never had an issue with alcohol. I could go out and have a beer and it would be no problem. But because she, that was an issue that she had, like I even though I don't have an issue with it, it doesn't, like, I could care less to go out and have a beer, you know, just because I could be like that. I could be like, well, you know what, you have an issue, I don't. I can go do it, but out of respect for her, it's just I don't really do it. And I know she appreciates that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Especially if she had a problem with it. Yeah, you're obligated to do that, really.
Yeah, you know, I mean, but not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, especially couples. Okay, all right, you know, like I said, let's touch that. You know, with couples in recovery, you know, they're like, well, that's your problem, not mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, I'm gonna go do what I do. Like, no,
Or you're
and
just having friends too. Not all your friends are going to respect that.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to call you up drunk and want to talk to you, and they don't realize like just being on the other line is triggering for us.
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody call me like 2 months ago, and they're like, "Oh, I just did a line and I feel like talking."
yeah,
Yeah.
Why are you going to call me?
yeah.
I'm quick to cut people like that off. That's just me, though.
Well, this person, I mean, I have to deal with it a little.
Yeah, I'm bad about, you know, that's one. I guess that's a gift that I have. I don't give a fuck if you're my mom. I'll cut you off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've had to do that to my family members as well because
I
of that.
will in a second. In
Yeah.
a second.
It's just one of those things, you know, it's just you got to take care of you know, your mental health, your recovery, everything. And at the end of the day, if somebody can't respect that, even if it's your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, whatever, you got to do what you got to do, man.
That's
Because that's you. That's you. That's your life.
The way I look at it, and it offends me. Like I'm like, so what are you saying? You don't give a fuck about my recovery?
Yeah.
You're gonna like put this in my face and do this? It almost gives me a fuck you attitude. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you don't care about me, I don't care about you.
Yeah. Yeah. With this certain person that has done that, you know, to her, I'm like, wow. Like, oh, wow. Okay. The fact that somebody doesn't, you know, like, geez, especially knowing what you're going through and knowing you're in recovery and this, that, you know, and then you want to go snort some lines and then have a conversation
Well, I mean, I think
and make it known about it, you know?
I think it boils back to what, you know, what Josh was saying about, you know, trying to start relationships with people that have never been an addict. Like, some of them just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, you can just stop. Why don't you just stop? You can stop. Just stop.
Yeah, I love
Just
that
stop. I fucking hate it. But that's what this person says to me all the time. Well, just stop.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just, I've already accepted that this person is never going to understand the hurdles that I've overcame and how powerful I am and strong.
Yes, you
And
are.
I've just accepted it as it is. Whatever.
What I can tell you though is I am very, very grateful for this woman because, you know, I moved here to New York about almost a year and a half ago, and you know, my mentality was a lot different back then, just about a lot of stuff, and so I would like to say, I don't know if she agrees, but I would like to say that I've done a lot. I've changed a lot about myself in the last year, and a lot of it had to do with her. So, you know, and
Let me clarify that though. Like, I didn't like say you're gonna do this and you're gonna do this
Right.
and you're gonna do this. It's about sitting down and having that conversation and letting them know you are deserving of forgiveness. You are powerful. You're strong. You can do this. Like, you can do this. You can make those changes. Like, there's still going from long distance and then living with each other. You notice a lot of stuff that you didn't, you know, before. You know, just seeing each other a week and having a relationship on the phone. You know, and it's just. We noticed stuff about each other, and we just sat down one day and had a conversation, you know, and we're like, well, you know, I see you doing this. It wasn't working before, so why are we going to keep doing it?
yeah. I do want to say this to Keanu. I respect your opinion, but for me, I do make my life about it because at the end of the day, people. Unfortunately, for the rest of our lives, people are going to have They're going to, you know, there's going to be addicts out there. And for me, if I'm able to make my life about recovering out loud and I'm able to share my story, I don't care until the day I die. If that's what it takes to help somebody else, then so be it.
Well, I have
so,
a question. Why are they here?
no, I'm not
Why are
going to
they
get. I'm
watching?
not getting into it. But what I'm just saying, like, I make my life about it. I recover out loud, just like Josh does, and Tiana and Brianna. Like, that's what we do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
we recover out loud for those. So to tell somebody,
There's a lot of people that don't have that support,
And that's why
don't have that. Like me, that person I said. Some people are like, just quit, and that is so. Just stop. Just stop. That is so detrimental to people because you nail that into somebody's head so much that they're just gonna stop, and they can end up dead, or back where they were. When people look at us, Josh, I don't know if it's the same for you, but these 4 years that I have, this isn't the first time that I've tried.
Right.
This is not the first time that I've tried. I've tried before, and it just didn't work until it worked.
Man, I
And
like that.
sharing that is helping other people understand,
Exactly.
Right.
you're not a failure because you didn't get it.
after the
You
first
just
time.
have to figure out what works.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, sometimes
know?
it takes 10 times to get it right. We all
Because
know
we're
it.
trying to save lives out here.
Yeah.
It took me 100. But what Grubhut just said, it's not about us, it's about the next person.
Exactly.
That's why I do it.
Yep.
That's why I do it because, obviously, this helps people, and I know it helps people. I get messages
Yeah.
all the time. If you don't like the content, you definitely don't have to watch. You can bounce off and go watch some fucking SpongeBob or whatever you're into, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything. You're allowed to have any of your interests, but we were talking about this before. Why be negative when there's no reason for it?
Yeah,
If
that's
it
just
was
the world we
worded
live in.
different, like I don't know if he said it to like understand, like Jared explaining it. Sometimes it is nice to explain yourself to those people instead of getting angry, so they understand because maybe they just don't get it,
Right.
and maybe they never will. But maybe that one person explaining it to them, they'll understand why we're doing this. Why are there pastors? Just be religious and move on. You don't need somebody to guide you. Self-help seminars,
why
like
they're-
yeah, everything. Like, why is anything here? It's to help others and to spread our knowledge.
No, I
and
know-
I'm sure
I
all
know-
three of us have recovered different.
Keanu, I know you're not being negative, and that's why I'm trying. That's why we're kind of explaining it. Again, he did say, I don't understand. Don't mean to be negative, and that's fine, and that's why we do these things.
And thank you for responding that way too. That's
we do these
growth.
things to be able to just bring that awareness and whatnot, and and at the end of the day, if you can take something out of this, then great. That's why we're doing it. But I know for me personally, I got to be loud and proud. And yeah, it took me a few times before I got my shit together. But here I am, 5.5, almost 6 years later. And at the end of the day, I'm going strong. And it's all about who you have next to
Brad.
you in your corner,
Yeah, and we do this content because this keeps people strong too. Somebody might be having a bad day and roll onto this video, and you guys or I might have said something that sparked for them. They're like, "Oh, you know what? I get it now. It clicks."
Bro, dude, there's some
So I want to
days.
say to hold on one second, and then I'll let you guys go because I'm gonna eat a little more, but not go, but talk. We relapse because our hands are stronger than our mind.
Yeah,
And we're going to reach for that because our mind, no matter what we're saying up here, our hands are going to go for it. Once we build that inner strength, then we control our hands and control our actions. And
Yeah.
we can resist those urges to reach out and cope with drugs and alcohol. We will cope other ways. We will learn how to, be stronger than those fears inside of us, and that's why it happens, it just, we're not strong enough.
We had a
We have it, but we're just not at that moment.
we did an episode earlier where it was very interesting, very, very interesting on the whole disease versus addiction aspect and whatnot, and
Disease versus choice.
or disease versus choice aspect, and it was just it was very, very, very interesting. But I think once you put in that inner work and you actually get it right and you want it and you start doing it, then it's like the power of the mind is a big thing.
Yeah,
Huge thing. And so at the end of the day, it's all about how you're gonna dude, it's amazing of the power of the mind. Like, and I don't even know where the hell I was even going with this because I forgot what I was
Did I
going to say
interrupt him?
earlier. Yeah,
Sorry.
but your mind is a powerful thing, absolute powerful thing. But
sure.
yeah, you know what? Sometimes you just it may take you 20 times, it may take you 30, it may take you 100 times, but at the end of the day, as long as you're doing it and you're and you're being consistent in your recovery and you're doing it being sincere and you'll be all right. You got to
Yeah.
keep doing it though. That's the thing.
I can't count the times I tried to get clean every day in my active fitness. I would tell myself every day, today's going to be the day. I wouldn't last more than 24 hours.
Can I say something about that C word?
Go ahead.
You weren't dirty before. So like when people say, "Oh, my pee was dirty," or I try to get clean and stuff like that, like I love changing the verbiage to like sober or get into recovery because you weren't.
You're not a dirty person.
You weren't dirty, so you weren't trying to get clean like from being dirty. You were trying to get sober.
Yeah.
We had an addiction doctor tell us that.
Yeah.
He came on and he educated us on changing the verbiage.
He's been reaching out to me to come on again.
He goes, you change the verbiage and you start changing your mentality about things. So when we say, we were dirty, this and that, he goes, no, you're a human being. You're a human being. You're not just a piece of garbage that's dirty. And he started like changing that up and it was just like, oh, okay. Instead of making us, because we are, even though we're addicts, we're human beings. We have a brain, we have a heart, our blood pumps just like everybody else, just everything.
When you're dirty, you take a shower to get clean.
Right, so I think
Yeah.
she just likes changing that verbiage on it.
I'm just trying to help a lot of people just change, the way we speak about it.
Get sober, clean. I get I get where you're going with it.
Yeah.
But I tried every day.
I mean, anyone can talk how they want. I'm not telling you what to do.
I understand. Hey, whatever works. All of us are different, man. That's one thing I really have figured out in this recovery lane is there's not a one size fits all method or
Yep.
it's some people go all kinds of different. That's why I push that so hard. All pathways. I understand that.
Yeah.
My way ain't gonna work for everybody. Some people just don't fucking like working out or going to the gym or this, that.
Meal
some people don't
prepping
wanna
or
do that.
anything.
Right. Some people don't want to do that. But it works for me and I will continue to preach it. But I also understand that there's other ways. And we can talk about those too.
The gentleman that we had on earlier, again, I'm not going to say certain names or anything like that until it's ready, but his mentality was him and his wife, they used the term recovered, that because he wanted to make his life, he didn't want to make his life 20 something years down the road about being in recovery, and like he didn't want to be the same person or this, that, and the third. And so, again, he goes, I know my way isn't going to work, but for everybody, but for his thing, it was like, he goes, I believe he's been clean, 7 years? Almost 8 years or something. And he was like, you know what? I feel like I'm recovered now. I don't want to go to meetings and speak about, being an addict. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. And this guy, they have sober living homes and everything. But it was just, that was his point of view. He's like, I just don't want to be that person, 23 years from now sitting in an AA meeting saying, hi,
leaving my family on a Tuesday night to go to an
saying,
AA
hey,
meeting.
my name is Bob and I'm, an alcoholic or something. And it's like, I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I don't know if, I'll be straight with you, I don't know if that would ever be me, though, personally. I think for me, like, I got to live my life to, help other people. Like, I know I dedicated when I chose to do this a year into my recovery, I made a promise to myself and to God that I would dedicate the rest of my life to helping people that are lost and that are broken just like me. And that's what I do. That's what I do every single day. Again, we talked about this. I don't care if you make money or not. I do this because I know what it was like to be broken, to be lost, to want to die, everything. And money could be the last thing on my mind about this, honestly. But we grind 6-7 days a week just to be able to make sure that other people are on point.
I'll put it like this. Hopefully you guys are able to make enough revenue to upgrade your system because that takes money, sponsorships and all that shit.
Yep.
It just takes money. So hopefully you guys are able to generate enough income to put it back into the podcast.
Exactly.
And climb the ranks, because that's what it's really all about. If you're just making this money and you're blowing it, you're never going to get on top. You have to take that income and put it back into your craft.
I went last month, well, almost 2 months actually, and I invested lights, brand new 4K camera, like all this stuff. I put a decent amount of money into it out of my own pocket that I haven't made yet from the podcast, but I did it because I realized, you know what, I got to upgrade. We got to make sure, production's on point, audio's on point, lighting's on point. Because like you said, this is more than just hit and record.
It is
Like
way more.
it's
It
like
is
a
way
business almost. You got to treat it as
more.
something like that. And so for me, like I take pride in how we look and how
I
we
bought her pretty
record.
couch.
So we try. I mean, we're going on the road now. We're taking the podcast on the road. We're going to places like Detroit and New York City and in South Carolina and DC, all these places, or North Carolina. We're going to all these places now, and we're doing this. And guess what? We're doing it on our own dime.
Yeah.
We're paying for our own gas, for our own hotels, for everything. And I'm not saying that for anything. I'm just saying, like, we're doing that just goes to show how dedicated we are to this. That the hundreds and hundreds of dollars that we spend on traveling can be put in for somewhere else. Buy me a brand new flat screen TV. Buy me a motorcycle. This, but
Somebody had said something to us once. They were like, "Oh, I'm not going to give the backstory, but they basically came out like, oh, well, I wasn't lining your pockets. That's why you wouldn't give me the time."
Yeah.
We
people
line
just-
our own pockets by waking up and clocking in every day and clocking out of our day jobs. Like,
people
that's how we
think
line
that
our pockets.
the people just see the end result, which is what we got now. They're not seeing all the hours in preparation, all the hours in editing, all the money spent on equipment, all the time just being put into this period on the side.
Yeah.
That's why anytime people support me with stars or whatever, any kind of support, I don't care what it is, I appreciate the shit out of it because that's what helps the channel grow.
Or they see that you have a big guest on, and they're like, "Wow, you must be doing something. That you must be making money to be able to have, an actor or a pro athlete or something." And it's like, no, it's what what it is? Consistency, 100%. It's me reaching out to that person 6 months straight, trying. It's all this stuff to being able to do it. I've had people on the show. It took me a year to get them. But I was consistent. Once a month, sending an email for a year straight. Finally, until they got back to me. Just consistency is key when it comes to it. At the end of the day,
That's how you do it.
100%.
Y'all got it figured out. I hope to see all of us on top one day.
Oh, absolutely.
The content's there. It's interesting. People like watching stuff like this. You just got to find a way to put it in front of millions of people.
Yeah,
for them to be able to watch it.
But that's why in this recovery community, we got to work together. We got to, we help support each other. And again, not everybody, and I'm sure you're learning this too. Not everybody that does what we do has the purest intentions either. I've unfortunately come across some bad apples that are some pretty big people out there, and they're doing what we do. But at the end of the day, their hearts and they're a different person off camera, this, that, and the third, And so, but the ones that are in it, doing it, like, let's do it. Let's link up. Let's partner up. Let's go, and we're just working on it. We got to be in each other's corner. That's the only way we're going to make it is that unity, that community, everything. And that's why I love the fact that we're able to. I mean, look, you got over 100,000 followers, and we got, under 2,000 on Facebook. But you know what? You could have said, "Nah, you ain't on my level," because I've had people say that. "Oh, you don't have the same amount of followers." But you know what? No, like, I appreciate you and other people that do that. That's like that. Because I appreciate that instead of just knocking us down because we don't have follower count. Don't mean crap at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If follower count don't mean nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about how relevant you are.
Yeah.
Say that word right?
Relevant.
Relevant.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out what you were trying to say at first. I was like,
I got that backwards. But
Yeah,
and plus another thing, like with another podcast that's not so much based around addiction, maybe like look for people on your level. But this is about stories, man. This is about getting stories out there, redemption stories, and a lot of these people are at the bottom. Nobody's heard. Look at Soft White Underbelly.
Mm-hmm.
That guy brings people on his interview that nobody, right off the street, right off a skid road. He found a way to do it and make it interesting. So it's not all about, I got to find some big people, which I will be looking for big people to come on, right? Because it does get you more exposure.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing that matters at the end of the day. I want a good story.
Exactly.
That's what I want.
And I've reached out to people before, and I've told them I want you to come on, and they're like, "Why?" I don't have nearly as many followers as you've had so and so on or so and so. I don't care. I don't care if you have 100,000 followers or if you have one follower. You
I have no
you,
social
or
media,
You
nothing.
have right. You have a story, and I believe it could help somebody, and I want to hear it, and I want to put you on. And people say that though. They're like, I look at the guests that you've had. I'm nowhere near on that level. I don't care. That's not what I'm looking at. Yeah, we've been blessed to be able to have the people we've had, but I don't care. If I can pull you off the street and your story, is just as impactful as somebody that has 2 million followers. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People get hung up on a follower count, and I did
Yep.
too. I understand. I remember what it was like when I didn't have any followers. I
Right.
used to look at that. I used to be the person on the outside looking at that too. And then the bigger I got, the more views I started to get, the more interaction, attention. I learned a lot that this is not what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was fun. It's cool. I mean, it's exciting to go viral, dude. I've
Yeah.
had videos take off and get 6 million views.
Mhm.
You know, it's wild. It's crazy to get all the interaction. But after a while, you're like, you know what? Anybody can do this. You're not special for doing this. You're not.
Right.
Uh, you just got to put out something that grabs people's
That's
attention. You know?
that's
It's the
And I
relevant.
was,
it's the I can't even say the word. The sustenance.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Is that did I say it right?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what your word
I
you're
don't
trying
know.
to say.
like like the meat and potatoes and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The sustenance. I don't know how to say it.
substance.
Not substance.
I
I'll
get
look
what
it
you're
up.
saying.
I
Yeah.
can't ever say the word.
But
When I was-
you find something that somebody that people really eat into it, and they just
Yeah.
and they'll eat it up.
But that's a gift that I capitalized on. You know, I got pretty good at getting people's attention and going viral, especially when I first started. I have not focused on going viral as much these days because it just doesn't interest me the way it used to. Putting out
Yeah.
quality, solid content interests me
Hmm.
now. And come to find out, that's not the content that goes viral.
Nope.
That's just not. People don't want to.
Listen,
But
go for
that's
it.
what I'm more interested in doing now. So I've kind of dialed back. I could go viral every month if I wanted to,
Yeah.
but I gotta kind of, I don't know. I gotta do things that I don't really like doing. If you know what I mean?
Last year, 2023, who I thought, okay, I would say last year in 2023, Kalichi was our biggest guest, just because it knowing who he is in the recovery industry. I thought his episode. I'll be straight with you. I thought his episode was going to be the most viewed episode for that. Nah, Matt Keegan was. And and then I remember texting Matt Keegan, and I told him, I was like, bro, I was like, we just wrapped up, at the end of the year, Spotify does your whole wrap up. It tells you, how many countries you were in, what the most was, what the least is, this, that, and the third. And I texted him, I was like, bro, you were the #1 watched episode for 2023. He goes, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And I said, and I really thought it was going to be Kalichi. So that just goes to show you that you could have a huge guest on there and it don't mean shit. Like I thought that was going to be the biggest one.
Yeah.
And Matt, and when Matt was on, dude, we didn't even really get into his story. Like we got into it, but I mean, we were 50 minutes into the episode and we were still talking just about recovery. So that was just an authentic conversation that we were just talking about something else. And that's what took off,
Yeah, it wasn't so much about the guest or the popularity.
Right. It was just about the content, and what it was. And of course, now here we are 6 months into 2024 and we've got some pretty big guests that are coming up, but it's just like, I learned not to do that, not to just put all my ducks into one episode and be like, oh, this is going to be the one that's going to take off, because little do I know at the end of the year, it's going to be something that's completely different.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things that go into those, like the title, whatever, like what you make the title, all that stuff matters. I could tell you from firsthand experience. I'm pretty sure Tiana. I had Tiana come on one time where she told her story, and that's like right there with the Matt Keegan and Benjamin Lerner. I had Matt and Benjamin on one episode, and I'm pretty sure Tiana's is right there with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So some guests are just people want to listen to. People want to hear. People want to check in and see what they're talking about.
Yep. Nah, but we've been blessed, man. We've definitely, I think all of us, you know, you're with yourself included and everything. We are all doing something that's great, and we're gonna keep doing it. You know, we're all gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep grinding, and I'm gonna grind the same whether I get one view or a million views. I don't care. I'm just gonna keep going, keep doing it. Nothing's gonna change up. Just be authentic, 100%. Just like yep, she said it's the authenticity, 100%. And I think that's what it is at the end of the day. People see how authentic, you know. They're going to gauge how authentic somebody is, you know, who you are on camera compared to who you are off camera. That's why we try to do a lot of meetups with guests off of camera, you know, and we've been able to travel to some of these locations and meet people face to face, just to show people like we are who we are. You know, we're just regular ass people, and this is why we do it.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure, man. For sure.
Sorry to run off and find my glasses.
You're fine.
She gets a little blind.
I understand that. I wear contacts. I understand.
It just helps me focus on everything. Did something happen? Because the comments on Facebook aren't showing up on the screen.
Nah, there's. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's all the YouTube. It's just all the YouTube comments.
No, there's comments that have been coming through on Facebook that aren't. I mean, I have it open, so I'm talking to people in the comments.
Oh, so if people are on Facebook,
but that's why I noticed.
Yes, Tiana, we went and we met up with Manny. That was, you know, Manny's a good guy. We've got the opportunity.
That was insane meeting Manny in person too, because he was like, "Yo, like I can't believe you guys are here. Like I can't believe you guys took your time out, drove to me, and you're giving me time to share my story on your platform." And I'm like, dude, I just rolled out of bed at a hotel and I'm doing my makeup in your bathroom. Like, I'm a person.
Yeah.
I'm a person. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Like I said, I'm responding to people in the comments, but they're not.
Yeah, I just noticed that, and I don't know what's going on because
Well, didn't you say you had to do you had to start Facebook manually though?
Yeah, but I did that, and damn, StreamYard just is not compatible with Facebook.
I agree with you, Christy. She said leave it to Facebook to be acting crazy.
Let me try to change it one more time.
Brad Peterson said, I think Josh is one of the OGs. He has really kickstarted the whole online recovery scene. Cassie said about like setting stuff up that really is huge dedication. I'm proud of you both, including you too, Josh. You're going to have negative no matter what. Just keep doing what y'all are doing. You got a bunch of stars.
Shout out to Brad Peterson too, man. He's one of the biggest supporters in the recovery community.
Yeah, I've seen his name popping up around.
Bo,
I mean, he is out there, man. He's active.
Bo Micheletti responded to Brad. McLeish. I was close. He said, facts, that's why I'm around. No time for fake. He was responding to Brad talking about you being the OG. So,
Yeah.
Just so I could read those real quick.
Can y'all see on Facebook? Drop a Facebook comment.
Yeah, they're coming through right now, and they're not
Yeah,
showing up on the screen.
the only ones that are coming through on our end is the YouTube ones.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's all good. Facebook always acts weird, especially with us too.
I didn't notice before because I thought maybe like while I was down here, like the comments were just going fast on the screen from like the YouTube ones.
I thought it was weird
And
because
then
I
I
don't
noticed.
have as many people in the live. Usually we got 30, 40, 50 people in here.
Yeah.
And there's only 8 people.
I mean, you're live on Facebook. It's just not
That's right. Nobody likes us.
people. Tiana commented, Brad commented, Christy commented, and none of them are showing up on the screen. I just wanted to bring that up too. Like, you know, it's not, you're not getting ignored. It's just not showing up on StreamYard where we're looking at the comments.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So.
Yeah, I see now that I'm on the live. People are here.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. StreamYard. You need to figure it the fuck out. Make it compatible with Facebook. This is ridiculous. But
We've
anyways,
got
as long as
Chad's in here. Hi, Chad Matson.
What's up, Chad? Everybody, man. Shout out to everybody in the live. Be
Can
sure
I
to like the video and share the live too, please.
I keep it off camera, but can I smoke a cigarette?
Yeah, I've been vaping the whole time.
Okay. Well, I know some people are different, so I just,
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good.
I wasn't here before we hit record, so I couldn't ask these questions.
You're awesome.
I tell you, man, the last 5.5 years has been. I think I've accomplished more in my sobriety than I have in my whole life, and
Oh,
it's crazy to think about it. Like everything I have is because of sobriety. My girl, my job, the podcast, like everything.
mhm.
I wouldn't have had it.
Yeah.
A lot of some of the best friends that I have now wouldn't have had it if it wasn't for sobriety.
When you drop those vices, those substances, and you don't have anything else to really see, what happens is you kind of have to get up and start doing things productive. When those drugs are in your life, it wipes all that out. All
Yeah.
your productivity, everything, every piece of energy that you have goes into getting this drug for the day, and you don't get nothing accomplished. Nobody does. I don't think anybody accomplishes anything in active addiction.
Because all you're doing is using all your energy and trying to figure out how you're going to get high the next day.
That's it.
Like, bro, it's such a fucking like it's so tiring because it's like, you're high today and you're over here stressing about how you're going to get high tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you're going to pick up and then you're going to stress all day about how you're going to get high the next day. And dude, it's just like, wow. It's so tiring. I'm tired of selling all my shit, pawning all my stuff, stealing everything.
Do you know who
all
Kevin
kinds of stuff.
Delgado is?
That's what we need to be talking about. That's interesting. What you just brought up, the lifestyle and active addiction. Man,
Yeah. And that's
Do you know? Hold on.
oh.
Do you know Kevin Delgado?
I don't think I've ever heard his name.
Okay, he's being a little nasty in the comments on Facebook right now.
I don't even ignore that shit.
Yeah.
We get.
I
those.
just
We
wasn't
get
sure which way to take it,
those. Yeah, no,
and
we
I
ignore that
realized
shit.
quick that it
We-
was not the right way.
We normally
so-
we do that too, Like there's times I will respond, like if it's something like Keanu, but the trolls, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't let.
We
You know what?
ignore-
You can keep talking, because it just helps the algorithm, in my opinion.
Listen, you know what, Josh? Your people went after him right away. That's when I realized
Oh yeah,
that.
they will. They will.
but yeah, man, that's what we need to talk about is shit like that. It's just the
Are you on your phone? Do you want to go on there and block him?
just let it be, babe. We're trying to talk.
Oh, okay.
Just let it be.
It's all
If
good.
he wants to talk, let him talk. Who cares?
Yeah,
wants-
he's helping the algorithm.
He wants
Just know
his
that. You're
he
helping
wants
the
his
algorithm,
butt
buddy.
ate out.
Cool. I hope somebody can eat his ass out. I don't care. Anyways, I'm not even gonna worry about that. So yeah, man, it's just it's so stupid and it's a constant cycle like that, and it's just like you can't even enjoy getting high because you're worrying about how you're gonna get high the next day. Like
Yeah.
that's the way that I look at it. I'm like, shit.
See, what I find crazy about illicit substances is, I would sit there next to somebody else, and we've both been using the same amount of time. At least, fentanyl. We were using the same amount of time, and I would do the same amount as they would, and they would be nodding out, and I'm up fucking cleaning the house and scrubbing the corners.
Yeah.
And they're over there fucking nodding out and stuff, and I'm like, how? Like, that's one thing I never experienced. Not that I want to, but like that was one thing that I just never.
So you
you
were
know.
different. You were different than me because I was the guy that would be nodding out.
Yeah. See,
I was
I've
the guy that
never.
would be sitting there just
And I
chilling.
sit there and I think about it sometimes. I'm like, did I nod out? Because I don't know if you remember it, if you
You-
nod
you
out
will
and
do
stuff
that.
like that. Like,
You will do that. You will definitely. Honestly, I was addicted for years before I actually realized that I was nodding out. And the only reason that made me realize that was my girlfriend had took a video of me one time. She took her phone because she would always tell me about it. She would be like, "You keep nodding out. You're always nodding out." And I would be like, "What? You're fucking crazy. I'm not nodding out. What are you talking about?" So like I didn't believe her. But then she took a video of me nodding out, and I think I've actually posted that same video on TikTok and everything. And that's when I realized, damn, I don't remember doing that. So you definitely will nod without knowing it.
yeah. But I do, like, even now, this far in my recovery, like, I sit there and I think sometimes, and I'm like, did it happen? Like, I don't want to sit here and say that it never happened. But I just think that's crazy that you have two people right next to each other doing the same thing from the same supplier, and one is, nodding out with her head pretty much on the ground,
Yeah,
and I'm up, scrubbing the floors and making dinner and shit. Like
that's a
that's
great
just
example.
crazy to me.
That's a great example of people's brain chemistry just being different.
Yeah.
This stuff affects people differently. That if everybody was the same, everybody would like the same thing. You got
Mm-hmm.
people that like methamphetamine and like they can't stop it to save their life. Which I was never like that. I could always stop methamphetamine. I never wanted to keep going with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. I liked doing it, but I was never like full blown like, oh, I gotta have this every day. Now you
Yeah.
take opiates, fentanyl, heroin. On the other hand, I do get like that with that. I want it every fucking day. I'll do whatever it takes to get it, and I become obsessed with that. So
Are you gonna eat
that's
booty
just a
for
brain
it?
chemistry thing.
No, Tiana, it's not a marble smooth. It's Seneca menthols. That's what she
Oh,
smokes.
that's on YouTube. Guys, I don't know why the Facebook comments ain't popping
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, no, it's all right. He just wants his 15 minutes of fame, Tiana. It's all right. It's all good at the end of the day.
Christy said, for me, it was doing the same amount of meth as they were, and they're seeing shadow people, and I'm talking to people hiding in the bushes, and I never seen them. Oh, they're seeing shadow people and talking to people hiding in the bushes, and she never seen them eat. So yeah, that's, same thing. Like, I've talked to people that are in recovery from meth. Some of them, they had completely different experiences. Some of them seen shadow people, and other people are like, no, I never had that happen to me. One thing they can relate, though, is chasing it and staying up for multiple days at a time. We all just react different to it, and it's, I always say to you, not everybody that uses a substance abuses a substance. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. It's just different for everybody. I can also speak on, y'all said something earlier, or Jared, I think you was talking about the person that didn't want to continue doing this. There were 20 years in.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of speak on that too, because I used to feel the same way. See, I spent, before I relapsed on the fentanyl and went on the worst run of my life, I had got clean. I was 26 years old. I got clean for about 5 years. And I was like that. I didn't care about the tools or having the right tools, or I didn't go to treatment. I had no knowledge of what I needed to do to maintain long-term sobriety. The only reason I maintained it as long as I did is because I had the gym. I had those coping mechanisms without even knowing it.
Yeah.
It just worked out that way for me. And I went on the relapse. And since this time getting clean, I understand. Like, I kind of got to stay in this little realm of being aware of certain situations in life. Because if I'm not, I'm always going to be subject to go relapse or get around the wrong people or the wrong temptation, or, anything could happen. So I'm always aware of that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very important to be aware.
Yeah, I'm aware of my surroundings, my situation. Everything I do, I think about, where could this take me? I try to plan 10 steps ahead.
Yep.
Right.
And we have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can have 20 years in recovery, and a lot of the actions that we take and a lot of things that we learn early on in our sobriety, they'll become second nature to automatically do stuff and to avoid things, but those thoughts don't ever 100% go away.
Right.
Someone seeing somebody at a beach drinking a beer may not affect you, but one day you're going to look at them and some of those thoughts are going to pop into your head, and you're going to have to reach into your little toolbox and help yourself.
Yeah, there's people that relapse 20, 30 years in. It happens.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
It happens. So that's not to discourage anybody, though. I don't. Sometimes I don't like talking about certain things because I don't want people to get discouraged. We got to understand the power that this content really has on people. Like, I mean, it has so much power.
Yeah, a lot of it is the power in the very beginning of the recovery.
Yeah.
Is what's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to help people way down the line, but a lot of the shit we talk about is for like the day one, the somebody that's in the detox right now or their withdrawal, and it's just, you ain't alone. You're definitely not alone. You can make it through 100%. And I think that's why I do it. You know, I do it for those people that can't make it past 24 hours because I was that person that couldn't make it past 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to talk on something, and I'm going to ask you two a question, and everyone in the comments too. I think the most important thing that I've done with myself in recovery, or at least like the early one, like the biggest tool that I've given myself is the first month I was sober, I was living in a home with others that were still using my DOC
Wow.
and other drugs. And I still maintained my sobriety because I wanted it, but it showed me how strong I can be. You know, when I put my mind towards something, I'm strong and I can do it. You know, so what's something like a tool? I know, like, this is probably, you know, one of the most important things that we've done is helping others, but what is like a tool that you learned that is probably the most powerful one that you guys have for yourself?
Oh man.
And for yourself, not for others, for yourself.
The the most powerful tool that I have is being able to become obsessed with what I'm doing, which is a gift and a curse because that's what got me so bad in my addiction. I obsess over things, but I'm able to take that energy and put it towards positive things, like the gym. I preach it all the time, and like staying busy, you know, going to work, making money, all that. So my obsession is my greatest tool. Being able to obsess, I just got to find the right things to obsess about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your energy towards something good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an elaborate answer. I literally piggyback right there with because you know me 100%. I grind. I go. I don't stop. You know, it took me time. She actually got to a point where she actually had to tell me like, "Yo, you need to slow the fuck down," because. But for me, like,
You don't
yeah,
have to constantly be running away from stuff.
I
It's
fixate on
okay
it,
to
and I
sit
just
with yourself.
I fixate and I just run with things and with the podcast, with work, with everything. And so, like you said, though, it can be a blessing and a curse because if you focus on the wrong thing and obsess with it, you know, it could lead you down a whole different path. But for me, absolutely being able to take my obsession with drugs and now put it towards this or towards work, changing my mentality on the thoughts that's for me how I run with it. You know, is I always say this. Think about when you're withdrawing and think about what you had to do to go get your fix. How many miles did you have to walk in the dark, in the snow, maybe with no shoes on? You know, you got to walk 10 miles or it's pouring rain, this, that, and the third. So put that in your recovery. So if you're gonna do all that to chase just so you can go get high that one day, just to get being dope sick, why can't we do that in our own personal recovery? Why can't we become obsessed with chasing sobriety instead of, you know, just as we were obsessed with chasing to get high? That's the way that I look at it.
James C.L. Becker just said, dude, it's not even about the relapse. It's about how fast you get back up. Relapse happens, but don't ever let it keep you down.
I agree 100%. There's other people that aren't going to agree with that, but I do agree. You know, it's all about how you get back up. You know, you can relapse, and yeah, you know what? It's shitty that you relapse, this, that, and the third. But you know, if you get down, you get knocked down. Guess what? You get back, you dust off, you get up. And you go back and you hit it twice as hard. You don't sit there and fucking cry about it and, you know, oh, poor me. No. All right. Now, what did I learn from this? What caused me to start having that mentality of a relapse? You know, what triggers, what this, that, and the third? Okay, now start using that and get back up and now put it towards, you know, next time.
Yeah. I always say, too, like, when we start our journey to recovery and, like, you know, we finally get it, we're babies with adult responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to learn to balance learning everything, but also being productive in where we need to be, you know, for our age, you know, and that's hard. That's really hard to find that balance, you know.
You know, I was listening to, I don't know if y'all know who Chris Herron is.
The name sounds familiar.
The last name does.
He's a big advocate in recovery. He was big in the NBA and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, way back in the day. Well,
Yeah.
he put out he went on a podcast about 6 months ago. If y'all want, if anybody interested in Chris Herron, you can go check that out. Just look it up on YouTube. But he said something in that they talked about something in that podcast really caught my attention, and you stop the development of your emotional growth. You know, you grow emotionally just like you grow any other way.
Mm-hmm.
When you start taking drugs, you stop your emotional growth. So let's say you start using at 15, and that addiction takes you all the way to 25. When you stop at 25, you still have the emotional intelligence of yourself when you was 15. So
Wow.
you pick up where you left off. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. And
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It does though. Like you see a lot of people that are in, their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they get sober and they're acting like a teenager.
Yeah, they got the same mentality as
You know,
before.
like the
Because you stop your
happiness.
emotional growth.
Yeah, I think the happiness that we get from getting off of a substance, like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but like the happiness that we get is so overwhelming and so not overwhelming, but like overpowering that, yeah, it's that happiness that we would have at a younger age.
Yeah, because you don't
So,
experience you don't experience you all you experience is being numb.
yeah.
I mean, I think we can all agree that especially opioids, I mean, they numb your emotions.
Hmm.
They did for me. I don't give a shit what I was going through. If I got high on fentanyl, it was gone. I wasn't even worried about it.
Well, I think too, like, if you have an emotion while you're high, it amplifies it. Whether
Yeah.
it be happiness, you obsess, anger, you know, infatuation, because I don't think it's ever really love, but we obsess over that and we chase, okay, well, I'm having this feeling. Oh, I feel something. Let me chase that. And then it fucking dies. And all right, now we're numb again.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that was probably the biggest part about the opioids for me. Is just numbing myself out, not feeling shit. Especially if I was going through something. I remember when I first figured that out, was when I went through a really bad breakup. I mean, it was to the point where I couldn't sleep at night. Like I was losing sleep over this shit.
Yeah.
But when I got high, it didn't bother me. I was good. Everything was okay. And I was like, damn, like I need this. And that's when my addiction for the first time it took me to rock bottom because I
Mm.
figured that out.
Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to chew.
My
Trying not
daughter
to
just
chew in the mic.
Brother,
I can hear it. I was like, do you want to put your mic a little away because I can
I love it.
hear.
This is a good episode. I'm enjoying this episode.
Real?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate Cassie. She says, I finally found my happiness. It took some time, but here I am.
Yeah. Shout out to Cassie.
Yep, she's
It's awesome. Congrats.
Bo said weekend. Scar Nation is about to make being clean cool again.
Go if you're. Why don't you drop in the comments, people that are watching YouTube, Facebook, drop your sobriety dates.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
I always like supporting people, especially in their milestones and whatnot. I don't care if you're 1 day sober, if you're 1 year or 10 years. Drop them in the comments.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
all should be
Everybody,
celebrated.
drop 15 days. Drop
Yeah,
them.
no, I'm enjoying it for sure. It's just those episodes that you record that are just they're not planned. You just kind
Cassie
of do
is
it.
July 2015.
Yeah.
Brittany Harvey is August 28th.
Awesome, congrats, guys. Or I should say, congrats, ladies.
Yeah.
Caleb is 6/4/2020. Brad Peterson is 3/8/22.
It's
Congratulations,
awesome.
everybody.
I'm
I
proud
know.
of all y'all in recovery sticking to it, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like I'm thinking about it now, and that's 4 months until October, and then that'll be when I hit 6 years, and I'm just like, wow, where did time go? Like literally, it went by fast. I was like, holy shit.
We're 4 months away from my 4 years, after my 4 years, and we're 4 months till your 6 years.
Yep.
Right in the middle of us.
Tell you, almost 8 years off IV, man. Almost 3 out there. That's awesome. People say that we can't recover. That's a big ass lie.
Tyler
Oh, yeah.
Becker said March 24th, 2023. Tyler Thomason is 9/3/22. And Terry Whitlock is November 3rd of 2021.
And that's what it's all about, man. It's about seeing all these people that come up and they show up and they support, and
they're
then
proud about
and they're
it.
proud
Like,
about
it's
it.
not
Like
something to be ashamed of.
you know,
We salute you over here. That's
I'll
what
tell
I'm
you
saying.
this.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you this. I remember before I started this podcast, I had brought it up to I had brought it up to my ex-wife, what I wanted to do. And she was like almost ashamed for me to do it because, and I think her mentality's changed now, but like then it was just like, you're going to go tell people like everything that you've done and just all that shit. and then it kind of, cause dude, I've done some fucked up shit. I'm sure we all have, but me especially, and I'll own that, but then she's like, at that time, again, she didn't really understand it, but she was like, then you're going to go and you're going to basically share all this shit that you did. And then she felt like she was going to be humiliated because of what I did during, our marriage and this, that, and the third, and it was just like, so she didn't want me to do it. Well, or she was like, maybe do just like audio only, this, that, and the third. And I was like, no, like, of course now this was, oh shit, like 4 years ago when we first had the conversation about it. But again, I waited 2 years and then I started it. But it was just like, it was one of those things. I'm loud and proud. Like I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks. Like I don't want to be one of those people that walks around my head down and be like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to let people know that I'm in recovery because then they're going to say I'm a drug addict, this, that, and the third. Nah, fuck that. Because what if I come across somebody on the street that's all they need to hear or see? They just need to see that one person, or they need to hear that just for them to just hold on. And that's the way I look at it. Now that's why I'm proud about where I'm at.
You know what's funny to me? Most times, but people are so scared to talk about this stuff. I have found that, and I'm not like I'm somebody. If you can ask people in real life, I will be straightforward. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I'll tell you straight up. Yeah, I'm in recovery. I was a junkie. I will say that to people. I don't give a fuck who it is either. I have found by being that way that I find so many people that you'd be surprised at the people that have struggled with addiction, but they don't talk about it. You'd be surprised at the people out there that are in recovery themselves that don't talk about it, because when I talk about it, all of a sudden people start, oh yeah, I'm 7 years, and I never would have thought that about them either. So I think that's pretty cool, being open about it. I've had people come up to me that I never would have thought struggled with any kind of addiction, and they're telling me about their story because they found me on Facebook or TikTok, or I have people in real life coming up to me all the time.
I'm dropping in the comments on Facebook, I'm dropping our website to the podcast. Go check it out for sure.
Yeah, check them out. Blacklist Podcast.
Yeah. And there's an intake. No, the intake form's not on there anymore, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
It's just an intake. If anybody's interested, if you are interested in coming on and sharing your story, you go to the blacklistpodcast.com, you go to contact, scroll down to the bottom. There's an intake form that you can fill out, and it's going to give you some information about yourself, a bio, this, that, and the third. Fill it out. One of us will look at it and get back to you if you're interested in coming on.
And listen, there is no need to lie about who you are, what you've done in recovery. There's no need to exaggerate anything. Like we've said before, everyone has a story to share, and you don't have to blow it up because you think that's what you need to do in order to come on a platform and share your story. Be yourself, because we do look into people. If you say this, that, or the other thing, we look into it because we do intros, and we're not going to lie about who you are. So just please be honest when filling that out.
Be you. At the end of the day, there's no need to flex and be anything more than you are. Be you.
Yeah, a lot of people they do that too. It's almost like they feel like their story's not good enough or something. People
it's like, nah, bro, do you?
We've had it happen.
It's important to be honest because your story relates with people out there. There's a group of people out there that can relate with your story. I don't give a fuck what you've been through.
Yep.
There's a group of people out there that relate with it. That's why it's important to be yourself.
100%.
Do all this, you kind of overlook those people that could have related with your real story.
Yep, absolutely. That's the way I look at it, is just be you at the end of the day. Because again, like you said, there's your specific story that somebody's going to relate to out of that.
Yeah.
Whether, and should I just be who you are at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing I want to kind of touch on before we end this thing is for Brianna. You said you took the MAT route, right? What were you on exactly?
Before Matt, or what Matt route
No,
did
no.
I
But
take?
when you which form of MAT did you use? Did you utilize
I used Suboxone.
Suboxone? Okay.
And it was difficult too because I wasn't even in a month into my recovery when COVID shut everything down.
Oh man.
So it was different for me going
Yeah.
to the clinic because there were no meetings. There was no medicine counts. I moved 4 hours away and still continued to go to my clinic, and they just sent the medicine out to my local pharmacy. So my experience was a lot different than what a lot of other people have going to
Yeah.
a clinic for Suboxone. But yeah, I chose Suboxone.
Okay. What I was trying to, or what I wanted to get into, because I get this question a lot, and I know y'all do too. Anybody that does addiction recovery content is going to get this question. But I want to put this out here for the, maybe the person wondering, what was it like coming off Suboxone? What did you do? Like, how did you do it? A lot of people can't do it.
Sorry, her son's interrupting.
No, you're good.
He
This
wants
is
to
an
go play with
important
the
question.
football outside. So a lot of people are always, I explained this to somebody the other day. They're like, no, it's much harder to detox off of Suboxone or methadone, kratom, whatever you're taking. It's a lot harder to detox off of that than it was for me to detox off of illicit substances. If you are taking your maintenance medicine the correct way and you
Yeah.
are tapering, you have a great doctor and you're tapering and you're getting that knowledge, it's not harder. It's a longer process
Right.
because you can't take. If you're fucking, tell me, anyone in the comments, if you were out there using opiates, if you're like, oh, I want to cut back on my use, and you could. I don't think you can.
Yeah,
But
I could never do that.
yeah, so it's
I tried.
hard to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I won't say I never really had. I mean, at the end, I had withdrawals and I went through a crazy detox because I stopped at 4 milligrams in jail. But yeah, I mean, it has its side effects because we never did that on illicit substances. And if you're taking the medicine the right way, it's regulated in your body. We never
Yeah.
took the same amount of drugs every single day, and with everything that's out there, it wasn't the same thing every single time. You know, so yeah, I think it's more mentally draining than physically because if you're doing it the right way, the side effects of it are extremely minimal.
Yeah. So I didn't know that though. You went to jail and that's how you came off of it?
Yeah, so I had detox from 24 milligrams down to 4 milligrams, and I was still, or tapered from 24 milligrams down to 4 milligrams. And I got picked up on a warrant, and I didn't have my medicine in my purse with me. And my warrant was 4 hours away from home, where my family's from, and I went 12 days without my Suboxone. So that was my end goal. So why not, when I got home, bring the medicine to the pharmacy and just drop it off?
So that kind of worked out perfect for you. It
Yeah.
kind of gave you that extra push to just
Yep. I was doing it
Okay.
anyway, so why am I going to go
Yeah.
through 12 days of detox and then go back to 4 milligrams and taper off? Like, okay, I will keep going because I'm 12 days in already.
Yeah, for sure.
So
long did you
why?
overall-
You know?
How long did your overall withdrawal kind of last? A month, 2 months, 6 months?
So I actually ended up transferring over to the Vivitrol shot,
Oh, good choice.
which
Fucking great
helps
choice.
with those. I mean, there is that detox process. You have to be off of, Suboxone for so long before you
Yeah.
can go on Vivitrol, and then they give you the
7 to
pill
10 days,
form.
ain't it?
What?
7 to 10 days, ain't it?
Yeah.
No, it's 21.
21. They told me, well, I was thinking about doing Vivitrol, and they told me I had to be off for 7 days.
No,
Off
21.
opiates.
They have to do a drug test. They have to test you too to make sure everything's out
I
of
mean,
your
I guess
system.
at least less Suboxone's different because the half life and all that.
Yeah. I had,
Yeah.
I mean, I was 12 days off. I still had to do longer, but then they give you a pill form of it to make sure your body can handle it because they're not going to shoot you with something that's going to stay in your system if you can't tolerate it. So it's not an instant thing that you can just stop Suboxone and go right on the Vivitrol shot. And I didn't want to go on, Sublocade or anything like that because I already was getting it out of my system. I did the shot 4 times. So
For 4
December
months?
December was the last time that I dosed, and then my last shot was in May, the end of May. And I kind of had
Not this year,
everything.
last year.
Yeah. I kind of had like everything around me kind of settled and situated where I knew I was going to be successful without having that Vivitrol to help with those withdrawals and with the cravings. So that was my choice. I made the choice to stop. I could have kept taking the Vivitrol shot. I could still be
Yeah.
on the Vivitrol shot if that's what I needed.
Right.
So when I stopped the Vivitrol shot, I had nothing.
So you went from
answer him, please?
What? Go. Yes. You could have
so
answered him.
you went from gel, Suboxone, Vivitrol. That's I mean that's a pretty. I think Vivitrol personally. I think Vivitrol is probably the best MAT option out there. Personally,
Yeah.
just myself.
No. But I mean, I didn't even know about that you have to have everything out of your system before you can get the Vivitrol shot. They cannot give you the Vivitrol shot if you have Suboxone in your system.
Right.
You know?
I think it's kind of with anything with any
I
of
mean,
the
the
opiates
Sublocade, though, like,
because
It'll throw you
Sublocade
in a
shot.
precipitated withdrawal. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
like
So-
I was looking into the Vivitrol. I don't know if I talked about this with you, Josh, when you were on the show when we did it, but I'm on kratom, so
Yeah.
I take kratom. I've been on it since I got sober, and for me, I was already at a point where I was wanting to get off of it anyways. So I was talking to my doctor about going on Vivitrol, just as a added sense of security,
As a
you know.
safety net, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
It'll block kratom too. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it's supposed to block just pretty much any of
It's
those
more for the withdrawals.
more withdrawals. Okay, I didn't really care about it blocking anything. It was more of the withdrawals, you know. And so for me, like that's what it was. And but they told me like, yeah, you have to be off 7 days in order for at least for kratom, it was 7 days. But again, probably because the bomb that kratom has compared to Suboxone is probably just way night and day difference. So I'm assuming that's why it had to be so much for the Suboxone. But yeah, I've been on the kratom as long as since it's the day that I got sober, and I'm ready. I mean, I'm ready to be off of it. Like that's just kind of the same thing, you know. I get shit on because I take kratom. You know, people again, everyone tells me, oh, because I take it, that I'm not, and it's just. Whatever. I don't care. That's, as long as it's stopping me from going out and freaking, doing fentanyl, this, that, and the third. That's the way I look at it personally. I'm not going broke for it. I'm not selling all my stuff, pawning all my tools. I'm not stealing for it. None of that. So now, if it was creating a hardship in my life, it'd be a different story. If I'm using the last $20 that I had, that's supposed to go for food for the kids, and I decided to go and buy a bag of kratom with it, and just so on and so forth. That's an issue. Okay, that right there is you're going back to your whole addict mindset and the mentality, this, that, and the third. So for me, no, I think I've been able, and I have lowered what I used to take. I mean, I'm down to half of what I would normally take, but I've been at that level now for about a year, and so I'm kind of at that point now where I'm ready to move on to the next level. But I'll be honest, bro, it's scary. It is. It's a scary thought. I'll be 100% straight with you. It's scary to get, to do that. And it's just why it's scary. I don't know, but it's just
unknown.
It's the unknown, I mean, yeah, like I know that I'm strong in my recovery, this, that, and the third, but also it's moving on to that next step to be 100% off of everything.
Yeah, because the kratom, it also provides like a safety net too, if you will. Like I look at kratom like a form of MAT. That's how I look at it.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's harm reduction.
So with the funny thing about kratom is, Matt Keegan has become a really good friend of mine, and our views on kratom completely different. So Matt, and he's wide open. He tells us stuff. He relapsed on kratom. Yep. That's like his biggest thing, is that he goes and he's, he says, I relapsed on kratom, this, that, and the third. Of course, I take kratom, so it made for a very good conversation when he was on our show, and we had this understanding that that's how he viewed it for him personally. That's not how it is for everybody. That's how he viewed it
Also,
personally.
also, I know where you're getting at, but I want to make a huge distinction here. You're on the tea, right? The shit that you mix.
The powder that you mix
Yeah,
it,
he's
you
not
know,
buying
Okay,
some crazy
he
stuff
was
they
on
sell
the
at a gas station.
the extracts
yeah
and stuff.
Yeah.
he was on the extracts, which is a whole nother ballgame.
It's a whole
'Cause
nother
you don't know
level.
what's in it.
Well, it's a lot stronger. It's like
Well,
10.
it's like taking fucking opioids. It's
Yeah.
I've
Right.
done it before. I know.
Yeah.
I've done.
Yes.
If you go from the powder to the extracts, it's a huge jump. You might as well go jump on Percocet 10s.
Yeah, I've never done the extract, so I couldn't even believe
Don't.
beyond to tell
Do
you. And
not
I don't
ever
I don't
try.
want to. But
Do not
but
ever
that's
try.
the thing where we had that where we respected each other on it, for me. But again, I didn't that like you said, I've never been on the extract, so I wouldn't necessarily know the potency of it.
I know exactly what he's talking about, and yes, you can get very addicted to that shit.
But we
Very.
had that respectable conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had that conversation where it's just like, okay, I get it. I respect it. You're
I
on
wanna-
it because that works for you. I couldn't personally do it because I can, it was bad for me. I got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I want to respond to a couple people that are commenting on Facebook because I know they're not on the
Go
screens.
ahead.
Like I'm going like in the comments and responding to them, but Suboxone is okay for long-term use. It is harm reduction. It is reducing the harm to our body that illicit substances did to us. Not everybody is meant to get off Suboxone because sometimes those cravings are too much, and the environments that we're in that we haven't escaped or can't escape are too overwhelming for us, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay if you have to be on high dose, low dose, whatever it is, as long as you're being productive and you're not throwing away your life for your maintenance medicine.
Yeah.
I had an amazing doctor, and there was times where I would be like, "Oh, hey, I think I'm ready to cut my dose back again," and she'd be like, "No, I'm not going to prescribe you any less. If you want to take less, go ahead, but I'm not prescribing you any less because your plate is overflowing right now, and I want to set you up for success. And if I prescribe you less and you need it, I don't want you to go out and look for something else."
Right.
So finding a great doctor will help tremendously, but also listen to your body and listen to your life. Because if you have so much chaos going on in your life, you can't handle cutting that back.
Right.
Because it's also cutting back that cover for those urges to use.
That's
You know,
important.
and we don't realize that until we don't have it. So it helps, and it's okay to be on it forever. I'm not saying that I would still be tapering. Who knows? I could have been done tapering. I could still be tapering. But
Yeah.
that was my end goal, and there was an opportunity presented to me in the form of jail. I could have gotten my Suboxone in jail. I chose not to. They contacted my outpatient. They got my script sent over. They offered it to me, and I said no. And that was my decision. If I'm going to detox anywhere during COVID where I'm locked up anyways, now's the time to do it. You know, who knows? Like I said, I could still be tapering because, you know, it's difficult and it's scary to do. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay to be scared of it because it is helping a lot. Some of us are meant to be on it forever, and some of us can get off, you know, and you want some help or any, you know, advice on medicines or anything like that to help with tapering, you absolutely can reach out to me. I've tapered, I've helped other people taper, you know, whether it's just tapering a little bit, helping them through a taper, or helping them get off of Suboxone. I don't really know that much about methadone, so I don't know in comparison to Suboxone, like what would help and
Suboxone's a
stuff
better
like that.
option, in my opinion.
Yeah. When I talk about like tapering, like, you know, people cutting back on methadone, like if what I
yeah.
used for Suboxone and what my doctor, the tools my doctor gave me would work with methadone as well. I have
that's-
no idea.
It's a
And of
lot.
course, I'm here for all kratom related questions. I'm on our TikTok. I think we're gonna start. I want to do a series on kratom. You know just an educational series on it. What is it? You know what this, that, and the third.
Cassie, you want to know what's crazy? Cassie just in the comments said that's how my doctor is now, and sadly, she's now retiring. My doctor left 2 days after I went to jail. I was supposed to be switching doctors, so she didn't even know that I got off, stopped my Suboxone journey. So, yeah,
Yeah.
she left right after. She went to go be a primary somewhere else. So, I would love to find her, and just thank her for giving me that knowledge and those tools and that understanding and treating me like a human while I was, doing this, and not like a lot of doctors. You go and tell them whether you're on methadone or Suboxone. You tell them that you want to cut back and start tapering, they'll just stop you. Oh, okay, is that what you want? I'm not giving you any more.
That's extremely reckless and
Oh, it's
irresponsible.
horrible, but it's the reality of it, and doctors will do that. That's why some people are scared to say something. And
Yeah.
I've been on every end. I was abusing Suboxone at the beginning. I would take 6, 7, 8 milligram, 6,
I
7,
did
8,
too.
8 milligram strips a fucking day.
Yeah, I tried to do this shit too. It never worked out, but I tried it.
Yeah.
I used subs once. I took I was detoxing. Well, no, I wasn't detoxing. I was withdrawing from fentanyl. I was out, and my buddy was like, "Here." It was the strip. He gave me like a 2 milligram, half of a 2 milligram. He gave me basically half of a 4 milligram. No, he gave me 2 milligrams. It was small, and he gave it to me, and I was like, the first like 30, 45 minutes, I was like, yo, I'm feeling really good. And then I puked for 6 hours straight after that.
God.
Never again. Never again. I was like, nope, not happening. And I've never touched it since.
Yeah, the transition from fentanyl to Suboxone that's a complicated one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had been off of illicit fentanyl for a while. I was buying Suboxone from people. I had taken Suboxone while I was using, fentanyl still. By the time I got my appointment at rehab, they screened me. The levels of fentanyl in my system were almost too low to be accepted into outpatient rehab and into a Suboxone program.
Damn.
I was like 0.02 over what I needed in order to be accepted, and I just think that's sick.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. That is crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, we've had y'all for an hour and a half. I want to thank y'all for coming on for sure.
Well,
Thank
absolutely.
you for giving the knowledge that y'all got, man. I wanted to get that little MAT talk out before we got up off here.
Oh, yeah,
So many
absolutely.
people-
I can tell too. I know you guys can't see the Facebook comments on the screen, but it definitely helped a
No,
lot of
and I
people in
think-
the comments, and it got a lot of conversations going about kratom too.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
About kratom.
I think like that's something that's kind of really cool between like us together is that like she's on the Suboxone side, she can help, answer questions when it comes to that. Me on the kratom, side because it's more and more common with them both too, and so it's really I don't know. I think it's kind of cool for us to be able to be able to answer questions on both sides of the fence,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, everybody has their own methods and ways, things that they've struggled with, and that's where you gain the knowledge. So I feel experience is the best teacher. I would want somebody that's been through it to show me how to do it and successfully accomplish the goal.
Yeah. And let me say too, like I have nothing against maintenance medicine. It helped me maintain my sobriety while I got my life in order. But that fog that lifted from my mind when I stopped taking that Suboxone was insane. I did not realize that it was there until it fucking left, and it just blew my mind.
So your mind cleared up, huh?
So much.
That is correct. That's
Much.
That's real. That's real. People think that MAT and Suboxone doesn't affect you like that, but it does.
It does.
It really does.
Someone explained it to me one day. It's maintaining. That's what it's doing. It's maintaining. It's maintaining who you
Your
are.
dependence level.
Yeah. It helps, and you can be productive and stuff like that because, like I said before, we don't take illicit substances regularly the same amount on time. Maintenance medicine, we do. So it stabilizes our lives for stuff, but it's a maintenance medicine.
Yeah.
And the difference being off of it is crazy.
It's worth the work, right?
Absolutely is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Jared, Brianna, thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to come back on
Thank
your
you.
podcast one day.
Yeah, let's set it up, man. We'll talk
let's
more
do
about it.
When is Tiana coming on? Ain't Tiana coming on
The
your
8th.
podcast? The 8th?
The 8th. Well, we're recording on the 8th, but
Yeah,
it's not
her-
gonna it's not gonna be a live.
Yeah,
so
her and Tyler are gonna record together.
Okay, cool.
but we'll when it comes close to dropping, we'll definitely let y'all know so you can
Yeah.
promote it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to promote it on my page. Tyana, she's a good one. She helps a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll set it up. I'll come back on. Like
Yeah.
I said again, thanks for coming on. And that's all we got today, man.
Yeah. Where do you live at again, real quick?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Looks like we might need to take a trip to Tennessee, or you might need to come to New York.
For sure. I've been wanting to go to New York.
You can come up to Niagara Falls.
We got a gentleman that lives in Indiana, and he's traveling up here. He's never been in Niagara Falls, but he's coming up here to be on the podcast, and so we're doing it in person and whatnot. So he's coming up. We're gonna get him into a room and all that good stuff. But he's coming up, and we're gonna go take him to Niagara Falls. But he's like, you know what? I'll do a road trip, get to be on the podcast, and go see Niagara Falls. I was like, all right, cool.
Niagara
So-
Falls is so gorgeous, and it just like shows you how small you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, how
So
small your
I'll talk to you.
problems are too. I mean, we're all fucking big people, but how small your problems are.
Really are,
Just
yeah.
seeing something so amazing in Mother Nature like that, like it's crazy.
yeah, cool, man.
Hopefully y'all will be the first podcast I come to physically because I haven't done that
sweet.
yet.
Hey, we'll help you out. You know, we'll figure something out. So we like to, you know, if we can help people to come out, we'll figure it out. We ain't got the most money in the world, but we do whatever we can.
But
Yeah.
we'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out for sure.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having us on. I think it's been awesome, and I think we had a pretty good educational episode today.
For
And
sure.
looking forward to doing some more stuff together. So
No doubt. And all you in the comments, man, that's what it's all about. Thank y'all
Yeah.
for the support.
Bye to everyone. There's a bunch of
Something
people
out of it.
commenting bye.
yep. Say bye. Go check us out, theblacklistpodcast.com, BLAKLIST. Thank you guys.
You guys
Yeah,
have a good
that's
one.
it. We're out of here, guys. I love y'all.